Before Kate Middleton announced to the world that she was being treated for cancer, she had one of the toughest conversations that you can imagine having with your kids, sharing a serious health diagnosis. Princess Kate saying that it was important to her to frame it the right way.
It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay.
Just such a difficult thing to have to think about doing it as parents, adults. We want to make sure that we convey the message, whether it is a parent, grandparent, friend, or just a loved one, in the right way. So joining us with advice on this is Pediatrician Dr. Edith Bracho-Sanchez from Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Thank you so much for being with us.
Of course.
So how do you even start a conversation about cancer with your child?
Right. I think so many of us related when we heard this to Princess Kate trying to prioritize her kids, right? The first thing is to say, are you ready? Have you taken the time to process the news? Have you gotten the support that you need? And are you ready to be honest? And that might mean, do you have all the information that you need? Not all of the information, because sometimes we might not have every little bit of information, but do you have what you need to start the conversation with your children?
Okay, so that's important. And when you do have your kids' attention, what's the best approach?
Jenny, I would say honesty. Kids are so intuitive. They're so smart. They will know if you are lying. As you know, you have little ones at home. They're so smart. So honesty always. Call things by their name. So you want to actually use the word cancer. You don't want to call it a boo-boo. They will know. They will get confused. And for kids, the emotions that come up for us as adults when we say the word cancer are just not really the same. So use the word cancer and then try to reassure them. Tell them the things that are going to stay the same and the things that might be changing coming up.
So to that point, especially because they are so smart, are there certain things that you should warn them about and maybe some specifics that you suggest not talking about?
You know, Janae, I would say this conversation about cancer perhaps is not the best time to have a whole sit-down conversation about death and dying, right? Let's keep it limited. Let's start it somewhere, and then we can always expand from there. So let's talk about what the cancer is. Let's talk about how mom or dad are going to get treatment at the doctor's office. Maybe that means that you have to go to the hospital. Maybe that means that you're going to take medication at home. It's okay to say that. It's also okay to cry, to be sad, because when you show that you're vulnerable, your kids are allowed to do the same, right? They're allowed to feel. Exactly. They're allowed to feel what they're feeling.
Now, what about if you're talking about, you know, I've got really little ones, but when you're talking about preteens or teenagers, does the conversation change then?
Absolutely. But I think there are some things that still apply. You can start very basic and open it up for questions. And I think sometimes the questions that our kids ask us, even our teens, might let us know where they are, right? And how much they're ready to process and take in. So start with the questions. Give the basic, open it up for questions, and they'll tell you where they are.
And is there a point when you should start having your kid talk to a professional?
I would say my threshold is so low for getting help. Anytime that you think, that a professional might help you, might give you tips, might guide some of the conversations, go ahead and get that help. But you definitely want to get the help if your child is showing signs of anxiety, persistent sad moods, they're not coping well with sleep, with their eating patterns. Any of those signs, you absolutely need to get help. But anytime you think is helpful, go ahead and get that help.
That is so important right there. And so many families can relate to this. And, you know, our hearts go out to anyone who even has to think about having this conversation. But thank you so much, Dr. Edith, for being with us this morning.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.